episode of Sol y Punto. If this is your first time here, welcome. If you are a returning viewer, thanks for coming back. My name is Nicole and I am a knitter, natural dyer, herbal enthusiast, and New Yorker living in the south of Spain. I am coming to you today from beautiful Granada. I'm looking out on the hills in the background and I've got an olive tree right in front of me and it's absolutely glorious today. We are in autumn 2023, October. Beautiful month, absolutely. We can start wearing our woolly items, although it is a bit hot, but any excuse to wear wool, we will use it. So this is a bilingual podcast. If you speak Spanish, you can check out the other episode 31, which will be in Spanish as well. It's amazing to think that there are already 30 episodes in each language. So that means 60 episodes of this podcast where I share everything about natural dyeing, knitting events, herbal knowledge that I have come across and things like that. So it's really wonderful, and thank you all for joining me all this time. We also have available on the channel lots of interviews and conversations with lovely fiber people, creatives. I have interviewed some amazing people, which is really wonderful. I don't know, it's really exciting to know that I've been able to speak with some really cool people, both episodes in English, episodes in Spanish, so you could check those out. Since our last episode, episode 30, we have launched the third edition of Save the Sheep, which is my project with Antonio of Beagle Knits, where we are trying to bring visibility and awareness to breeds, endangered breeds of sheep to use their wool. And so we have already done 2 editions. We did last year the Advent with the wool rosette from the rosette sheep, which is a sheep from the Italian Alps. Beautiful. And actually, later on in this episode, we will have footage from an event that we were invited to in the Italian Alps with this sheep. So that's really exciting. We'll talk about that a little bit later. As always, these episodes time travel. I've got segments from my trip to Italy. I've got segments from probably the future still. We jump all around, but that's the fun of these podcasts. And yeah, so then the second edition of Save the Sheep was the Logenia yarn, which comes from the Logenia sheep from here in Granada, right in that direction. And actually, next weekend we have an event there, so this is really exciting. To be learning more about these sheep, to be helping people get to know them, and to help the farmers. Really, it's all about saving the shepherd, not really so much saving the sheep, because if we save the shepherd, then the sheep will be better, you know. So we're going to talk about all those things. You can also check on my channel another video that has been put up since the last podcast was a special episode about kami knitting. So that was cool. We talked all about the Camino de Santiago, where we walked with all the knitters. There's also an interview in Spanish with Aina, who is the shepherdess of the 3rd edition sheep. We actually have the sheep from her farm. I mean, we don't have the sheep, we have the wool from her sheep from her farm. It's just amazing how we're all interconnected. It turns out that I was able to get in touch with Aina through a group of spinners and weavers that I was connected to through the Logenia sheep. And so it's just, we're all interconnected. And when Antonio told me about the 3rd edition sheep, which is the Oveja Roja de Mallorca, the red-faced sheep from Mallorca, which is an island in the Mediterranean, I said, oh, I know someone who has that breed of sheep. I'm going to talk to her. And it turns out that it actually comes from her flock. Amazing. There's only 60 people. I mean, The chances are not that difficult because there are only 60 families in all the world who work with the sheep. But it just happened to be her family who is taking care of the sheep that we have the wool from, that we're working on right now. We're dyeing, we are knitting up and planning the advent calendar for 2023. So all of those things. What else are we going to talk about today? Thanks for joining me. Yeah, well, I have my beautiful notebook. Have you guys seen my notebook? Look at all the beautiful things we have. This is the 2023 Kami Knitting notebook that I designed, and it has my favorite color on the back and some really nice paper. It's like thick, nice paper. And I have my pencil case from my lovely Ines. I always forget to say this, but this podcast, I just do this kind of for myself, for sharing with my friends and everything, but I'm not like a partner or anything on YouTube. Like, I don't get any money from YouTube, not that I have that many views on these videos, but if you ever want to send me some economic love, you can check out my Ko-Fi and you can find my beautiful notebooks and creations like that, or my stitch markers, or you could just send me some PayPal magic. All of those things make me really happy. But if not, you could just leave a comment down below and say hello. I did want to ask if you wanted to leave some comments down below about people that you might like to hear from, like in chats, fiber chats, interviews. Like I said, there's a bunch on the channel already, but if there's anyone specific that you really want to hear from, actually there's one on here in English. The most recent conversation I had was with Arsenio of Alpacas del Camino. It's a guy who has alpacas here in Spain, and he's amazing. So you can check out that interview. It's in English. But if there's anyone else, let me know. Leave it down below. So today, what are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about what I'm wearing, because I did some modifications on it. We're going to talk about a finished object. We're going to talk about my flamenco shawl, which has been sent to my mama. It's already on the other side of the ocean. And we're going to be talking about what I'm working on now. I've got a really cool project on the needles. And at the end of the episode, we're going to go back to our plants. You know, I normally, at the end of each episode, I talk about a different plant that has caught my attention recently. I was kind of going back and forth because I had two in mind, but I think I know which one we're going to talk about, so we'll keep that as a surprise. That's always at the end of the episode, so stay tuned to that if you're interested. And yeah, so let's get started. Okay, so let's start with this sweater, not a sweater, cardigan. This is a cardigan which you have seen in many episodes. It was designed by a designer from Japan, and her name on Ravelry is Rie Vive, which means like laugh and live, which I think is beautiful. Rie Vive. It's actually, I fell in love with one of her patterns that was in a sample when I went to the New Jersey like Sheep and Wool Festival when I was in New Jersey. And I loved it. I looked her up, and then I found this one, and I was like, oh, it's so cool. Honestly, well, I don't know how well you can see it. I think that this is called Gnocchi. I love it. It's very oversized. You can even like turn it around and like put this part like over here. It's like kind of reversible. On the back, it has all these cable details. Sorry, these are cables, yeah. Very nice. But I did it in a DK superwash yarn. And I think that it would be it's very like heavy, you know. I think it would be really nice in a rustic, like I want to knit it in the Mallorca yarn. Like I want to knit it in like a rustic sheepy yarn. I think that it would be really beautiful. I've been thinking, I mean, I haven't done it, but I've been thinking about like repeating patterns. I don't know. I don't watch movies or TV or anything, but like there are people who like watch the same movie all the time, or like my brother loves to like just put on Seinfeld. Like he's seen the episodes like a million times, but he'll just like watch them multiple times. And I was thinking like, I would knit this again, like in a totally different yarn, like now that I've already figured out the pattern, like I think that it would be kind of muscle memory doing it. It's surprisingly easy for how beautiful it is. It's like gorgeous. So this, if you remember many episodes back, was periwinkle lavender color. And then one day I decided that I wanted to change that. So I put it in a bath of pomegranate skin and it turned this like goldeny green yellow color, which I love. But I think I have Antonio, who is the king of blue, and he is working on indigo right now. I don't know if right now, but now. I need to go to his house and see how it's going. He's working on that, so I think I might dunk it in indigo. Why not? Oh my god, so fun. But I did actually modify it recently because, you know, so it's like very like saggy kind of. And the sleeves, like the sleeves were probably like this. And I undid the sleeves back to here. And then I did like a bunch of decreases right here. And I probably decreased maybe like 10, 15 stitches or even more. Like I think I decreased like that much. Even now it's still like a little bit big, but it's so much nicer because it was like down to here and like super floppy and like I could never like roll them up. And I like to gotta wash the dishes. Can't have our sleeves hanging out there. So I'm really happy that I did that. And that makes me think about just like the evolution of our pieces. Like knitting is so wonderful because you can undo, you can re-knit, you can knit again. And that reminds me of my friend's documentary. Have you seen it? Have you seen it? It's in Spanish. I'm gonna leave the link down below, but Amalia created it was like her like master's thesis project. And she did a documentary called The Knitters and the Knitter. And it's all about, I don't know, she did an interview with me, Oso's in it, you can see Oso, Marianela's in it, our friend Rafi's in it, and it's really beautiful. And we kind of talk about that, like Marianela talks about, I mean it's in Spanish, but Marianela talks about how like ripping back and frogging and doing all these things, like we shouldn't like hesitate to do those things because we love knitting. So like what does it matter if you knit the same thing twice? Like knitting is what we love to do. So I'm really happy, and I think I talked about that too. I talked about how like our pieces can evolve and change, and I'm excited to see what this might look like if I dip it in a bath of indigo. I'm also excited if I knit it in another color. Why not? So that is the Noki cardigan by ThymeWeaver. And now, do you want to see another cardigan little jacket vest that I finished? Ready? 1, 2. Aki! So this is my cardigan that it's like a cardigan little vest thing that I invented. I'm actually really proud of the way that it came out. I think that it's really cool. The back is brioche as well. So basically what I did was I knit here. Let's see if I can turn around without being poked by all the pokey things. Can you see? Very agile, Nicole, very agile. Okay, so, well, I'll take it off and show you guys. But this is basically, here it's like short like this, and it's just a square that I knit in brioche in the back. And then I started, you can see the stripes, I started picking up along here. I picked up all along here, I added some stitches, and then I started knitting this way. And as I knit this way, I was picking up along the shoulder. And I'm like so proud. Look at that shoulder joint. Okay, this one's not as pretty as this one's prettier. Like look at, okay, let me show you this one. So look at how nice that shoulder joint is. I just went like knitting two together when I got to here. And then I got to the back. And then I did a super I-cord. Like super I-cord. I told my friends, I was like, I'm gonna make like un I-cord tocho, like a really like thick, big I-cord. I imagined it thicker and bigger, but still, it's still pretty still pretty intense, my I-cord. I put like 5 different strands, maybe 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know. Maybe 3 or 4 strands, and knit it on like a much larger needle size, and knit it all the way. I started down here, went all the way up around the neck, then around the back, and around the back, and then around the sleeves. So this is my little cardigan. The thing is that these colors are not autumn colors. So I'm really excited because this can come with me to Sevilla Teje in the spring. These are like very much Sevilla colors, like bright, different colors. When my friends saw it, they're like, "You're gonna dip that in a natural dye bath, aren't you?" Maybe. But first I'm gonna wear it to Sevilla Teje with all the colors, and then I'll dye it or something. So the yarn that I used, these colors on the front, like the yellow, the blue, the red, the pink, the green, and the purple, are mini skeins, and I still have a lot left, are mini skeins that I got in my advent last year from Marianela Galo, because Marianela and I did like an advent swap, which is a really fun idea. If you all don't have an advent yet, you can prepare one for yourself with minis that you have. You can talk to a friend and see if you guys want to do an advent swap. Doesn't have to like cost you money. Like you could, like one day could just be a little poem that you write or copy from a poetry book, or like a little chocolate or different things. And last year Marianela and I did that, and it was really, really sweet. And she gave me a whole set of rainbow minis. So I had all these colors to use. And then my dear friend Susan, here, let's show the other side. My dear friend Susan also gave me a mini skein set of these colors, and actually I still have a lot more. And these are from Eve Chambers, who is a natural dyer from Ireland. She sent them to me to participate in like an Irish knit along, which I don't know if that's still going on, but I totally finished my project. Susan, did I miss it? Can I still win a prize? I don't need any prizes. I have lots of yarn and lots of things and lots of love. No prizes, it's fine. It's actually like totally reversible, this little jacket thing. Super easy. Like it doesn't, you don't have to knit it in brioche if you want. You could knit it just like, you just knit a square. You just knit a square and then pick up on the sides and then go like that, and then the I-cord edging. Anything with an I-cord edging makes it look nice. And I love the way that like the stripes are like different, you know, they're like that and then they're like this, then I knit this way. So the yarn is the beautiful colored yarn from Marianela, which is from Indoluna, the dyer, Spanish dyer. And then the one in the back from Eve Chambers from Susan in Ireland, who has a podcast, Wild Cottage Knitting. And the other color, the other yarn that I used was a very thin lace weight alpaca yarn. So it's like super fuzzy and warm. It's like surprisingly warm, this little thing. And that was like very lightly naturally dyed by Yarnitas. And it was yarn that was gifted to me by Susana Gomez, who has a podcast in Spanish, but she was my swap partner in the Samhain exchange. So I got this yarn from her last year and knit this up, and I love it. And again, I have a lot of yarn left over, but I like this idea because it's like super wearable. I don't know, like just to like throw on over something, and like it's really cute. I don't know, I'm very proud of my little shrug vest thing. It's very cute. Okay, more things. Okay, I don't know, the procession has stopped, but you might be able, oh, there it is. Can you guys hear it? I don't know, it's in the background. So I'm gonna go down the hill now. I'm going to meet with Amalia, my friend who made the documentary. Go check it out. And we are working on something super special for the end of the year. So I'll let you guys know about that soon. And yeah, now we are going to travel in time. We're gonna go backwards. We're gonna go all the way to the Italian Alps. And I'm going to show you my adventures there with the amazing people in Les Tisserands who organized this event called Modeline. And yeah, it was really beautiful to be with all of them, to be with Lela, our Italian friend who lives there, who came to visit us and be with us. All of the other knitters and fiber artists and all the other people who had stands there. Everyone was so lovely and so welcoming, and I'm eternally grateful for that experience, to be able to go there and be with the sheep and be with the people. So that's where we're going. So we'll head there and see you soon. One, two. Bye, podcast. Good morning. We are out here in the Alps. Oh, it's so beautiful. This morning, it's about 8 o'clock in the morning. We are at the Les Tisserands event, which is amazing. I'm so grateful that they invited us here to talk about our project. And yesterday we went to a conference, all in Italian, but I felt like I could understand more or less with the slideshows. It was kind of like, okay, more or less. It was amazing though. There were people like very academic talks about animal welfare, the importance of shearing at least twice a year for the well-being of the animal, and about how happy sheep have happy wool and happy milk and happy everything. We know these things, we do. And then there was talks about the different bacteria that's being used for like alpine, sorry, let me change hands, for alpine yogurts and cheeses and wines, and how the bacteria from here is different. They were doing studies on that. And there was a really interesting talk about using wool as to plant for like hydroponic plants and stuff, and they've been doing these artistic installations using wool, because the benefit of using wool in hanging gardens on like buildings and stuff is that wool doesn't weigh anything or weigh much, so you can have a lot of wool, and like it's important, the drainage, so they put it in like metal baskets almost, and like a hydroponic process. And if the wool's dirty, like right after shearing, you can use that because it comes with the fertilizer. So really interesting talks. Then we talked, I spoke in Spanish and Antonio like translated me. We had a slideshow. The people said that they understood us. They understood me. Antonio speaks Italian. So it was very funny. They loved our talk. They were laughing and clapping, so it was good. And they said they were happy because there was a lot of academic stuff before us, and we were kind of just like the fun intermediate part. Yeah, so it was really interesting. Then another talk about sustainability, like the importance of the difference between being like eco and being sustainable, because you could be ecological and organic but have a child working 12-15 hours a day, like child labor and things like that. So there's a difference, like, yeah. But very interesting, really cool talks. And then we had dinner, and then lots of delicious food. Italian, but although like the food here is kind of like French, Swiss, like from the north, because we're right like on the border. We're actually really close to Geneva, Switzerland. So very interesting. Great food. Lots of cows. You could probably hear them in the background. And then we went to go see a documentary, which was about fast fashion and slow fashion. Really inspiring, really beautiful. I'm gonna put some images here, but it's been wonderful and I'm so grateful to be here. Look at these mountains. So now I'm gonna go have some breakfast. Super excited because it's like all you can eat breakfast, although like I'm so full. I need to walk more. Yesterday was very static. We sat all day in the talk, and today we have our stand. I'm gonna be in the stand selling our wool. We're selling the 3rd edition of Save the Sheep and some of the Lohenia yarn. If you guys haven't knit the shawl yet, it is the biggest hug ever. Like, I love it. You need to knit one. We still have some yarn and I have it in like really interesting colors. So if you're interested, let me know. And if not, the 3rd edition is coming out probably when you see this video. Okay, have a wonderful day. Wasn't that beautiful in Italy? What a wonderful time we had there. It was really great. So now we're in the future again. We're going to do a little bit more time travel. I'm going to show you now a video that I recorded with Marianela Galo, and her flamenco shawl. She designed the shawl for the mystery knit along this summer. And I talked about it in a previous video, so if you want to see that, you can go back to the last episode. But I knit it with Madeline Tosh, which I got in Knitty City in New York, and with cake wool. And I think it turned out really beautiful. The cake wool had like sparkly bits, and I think it looks really nice. I already gave it to my mama. I sent it back with my aunt and my cousin who came to visit Granada. So she's already wearing it and enjoying it in New York, and I'm really happy that she can have it because I have so many shawls. I don't need any more shawls. It's okay. And I think that she likes it. So we're gonna see that video with Marianela. You probably won't understand the Spanish, but it's a few minutes. It's like 2 minutes. So just enjoy us talking in Spanish. Okay. Nelita, ¿qué tenemos aquí?
Un chal.
¿Un chal? ¿Qué chal es?
Que ha salido de mi cabeza.
Ah, sí, cuéntanos.
Es el chal flamencos. Que...
Ay, qué bonito te queda, ¿eh?
Con mi top París.
Me encanta el top París. Qué guay.
Da, ¿no?
Oh. Y cuéntanos, ese chal, ¿cómo fue? Era un evento, ¿verdad?
El chal ha sido muy especial porque ha sido un misterical de junio. Hacía 2 años que no hacía un misterical porque se gasta muchísima energía, pero merece la pena. Me lo he pasado muy bien, ha participado mucha gente y todo tiene muchísima inspiración, muchísima historia, como a mí me gusta hacer las cosas. Y bueno, muy contenta con el resultado final, con todas las versiones de colores.
Es que es súper bonito, ¿eh?
La tuya es muy elegante,
¿verdad?
un poco contrastada como la mía.
Eso me gusta mucho.
Y los brillos les da un toque súper chulo. No sé si se ve en cámara la estelina.
Ahora haremos.
¿no?
Sí, estelina.
Y mirad qué chulo. encanta. Vas a estar muy guapa.
Mi mamá. Mi mamá. Pues muchísimas gracias, diseñadora.
De nada, gracias por participar.
Ha sido genial. Gracias, gracias. Chao, chao. Okay, so even if you don't understand Spanish, I'm sure you were able to admire that beautiful shawl and the beautiful designer. I highly recommend her patterns because they're available in Spanish and English, and they're super entertaining. Like, as you go knitting them, like each section has something new. It's inspired by the flamingo, so you get to learn about the bird, and it's a really fun experience knitting it, so I highly recommend. At the beginning of the video, I talked about going to Loja. That has come and gone. We went to the event. We got to participate in the round table, talking with the guy from Wool Dreamers, Ramon, other people who have different projects with wool, and we were there with other like farmers, and it was really amazing. So that was really cool. And then we had our like stand set up, which was fun, and we released the surprise that I was talking about earlier. Time goes by and you don't even have to wait for me to tell you what the surprises are. So we created a 2024 agenda planner. It is in Spanish. I mean, the days of the week are in Spanish, Monday, Tuesday. But I mean, that's not that hard for you to figure it out if you're interested. And like each week has space to write. It's really nice paper. It's 120 grams. And it's all photography of Amalia and I. So we're really excited. Some have pictures like this. And then each month, like February, like has the month laid out like this so that you can write like birthdays and different things like that. So that is available on the Ko-Fi website. If you're interested, let me know. If we're sending you a Save the Sheep Advent, hold on. Sorry, we're recording at home and Oso is in and out. I'm sitting over here because Oso is in my normal recording chair, but then he left and now he came back. Anyway, so if you are getting the Advent and you want us to send you your planner, let me know. We can work that out. I'm really excited to have it. It's very nice. It's very, very nice. But we also created, so you can see here, every year I always do like a wall calendar. So we made the monthly version. But again, it is in Spanish, but like the days of the week, Monday, Tuesday, you could just change that or just learn the days of the week. So these are the sheep from Loja. But these photos are photos that Amalia has taken. They're all in black and white. I love this one. And yeah, so looking forward. There's one that's really funny. Let me see if I could find him. I don't remember what month he is, but there's a really funny little sheepy. Oh, this guy, September. Look at him. Isn't he just so cute? So this is our monthly calendar and the planner agenda if you're interested. It's really nice paper. And that's it. I am working on some other things knitting wise, but I think I'm gonna hold off for next time. So now we're gonna go on to the plants, and today I have brought you a very interesting plant, and I'm excited. Actually, kind of two plants, like two families of plants that are connected. So we're going on to that. Okay, see you soon. Ciao. Okay, so now on to the segment of the plants. I am sitting here under a full moon in the evening at the end of October 2023, and I wanted to talk about some magical plants because I thought that at this cross-quarter holiday between the equinox and the coming solstice, I thought it's a time when there's a thinning of the veils, whether you're in Beltane going into summer or in Samhain going into winter. I thought it was a good time to talk about this. And these plants, I'm going to be talking about brugmansia and datura, which once were in the same category, the same family, but they have been divided and more specified. But these are plants that we saw growing in Galicia in different gardens. They're very beautiful if you've ever seen them. The brugmansia are the hanging ones, and those are known as angel's trumpet. And then datura is the flower that goes up towards the sky, and that one is known as devil's trumpet. Both of these plants are very hallucinogenic and deadly, so you must be very, very careful. I'm talking about these plants just because they're beautiful and just to share what I have learned about them, but I am not at all recommending even touching and playing with these plants, just admiring them from a safe distance because they are quite dangerous. So both of them are in the Solanaceae family, which is the nightshade family, along with tomatoes and potatoes. And they contain tropane alkaloids, which are deliriants, and they can kill you. So you must be very, very careful. First, talking about brugmansia. These plants are native to the tropical regions of South America, throughout the Andes, from Venezuela to the north of Chile, the southeast of Brazil. But they have become ornamental plants in gardens all over the world. They're actually prohibited in some places, but I don't think we should ever prohibit any plants. I just think it's important for us to know about them and to teach our family, young people about them, just to be very careful, not to touch them, not to eat them, not to get too close, but just admire them. The brugmansia have the hanging flowers, which are open during the daytime and the nighttime, although they let off their smells at night. Whereas the datura only opens at nighttime and then closes during the day. So brugmansia, these plants have been used as entheogens. They have psychoactive substances. They will alter your perception, your mood, your consciousness, cognition, and it is quite dangerous. But they are in a group of plants along with belladonna, henbane, and other plants that are known as the witches' herbs, because they said that maybe witches were known to, or just people were known to make balms or ointments with these plants and use it transdermally. So just putting it on your skin can give you these hallucinogenic effects. So again, don't touch them. Be very careful because people have died with these plants. It's crazy because here in Spain I can find datura growing on the side of the road in different botanical gardens. And if people knew how hallucinogenic and toxic they were, they were also used to poison people and kill people. Very, very dangerous, but beautiful. In Ayurveda, they have been known to be used as aphrodisiacs, like in very, very, very tiny quantities, but they have these hypnotic effects and they can kill you. Also, I've heard that they were used way in the past during childbirth, and they cause total amnesia. So these women would give birth to their babies using these plants, and then obviously they remembered nothing. But this was a long time ago, and we know better than that now. So please, again, stay clear. Don't go near them too much. But here's a dog. Hi, baby. You might know these flowers of the datura from the paintings of Georgia O'Keeffe. There are lots of beautiful paintings of this plant. datura in Sanskrit means thorn apple, manzana espinosa, no? And so the difference between now, they distinguish datura from the brugmansia because of the seed pods. If you ever see the seed pods of the datura, they're quite frightening. I think the plants are letting you know, this is not something to play around with. And they open up and they spread their seeds all over. And they're quite the show. And they're because they open up at night, the datura, they are pollinated by moths and different types of other night creatures. But very, very beautiful. And I just wanted to share them because I thought it was an interesting time to talk about witches' herbs. And yeah. So if you speak Spanish, you might be interested in a podcast called La Senda de las Plantas Perdidas. It's a podcast where you can find anywhere you listen to podcasts, audio podcasts, and there's always a plant that's highlighted each episode. And this episode, she was talking about mandragora, which is the plant that you might know of from the Harry Potter series, which is also another magical herb. And she mentions an earlier episode about the datura and brugmansia. So I went back and listened to that, and she had lots of fun things to share about the plants. So if you're interested, you can check that out and just enjoy looking at these beautiful plants. But again, steer clear and teach your loved ones to do the same. All right, so that's all for now. And I hope that you have a wonderful day, week, month, year. And I'll talk to you soon. Ciao.